Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a wrap-up video on Diablo at Blizzcon 2017. Now I'm going to apologize in advance. I have contracted the con flu. Thankfully it waited for me to actually get home this time. But if I sound kind of unenthusiastic, it's just the sickness. You're not seeing the million coughs I'm cutting out of this video. So Diablo at BlizzCon 2017. In this video we're going to cover what happened, what we saw for Diablo, but we're also going to talk about why I am nonetheless very positive about the future of the franchise. So in case you've somehow missed the news and missed the previous memo that predicted this news, there was no Diablo announcement at BlizzCon. This did not disappoint me simply because we knew that there would be no Diablo announcement at BlizzCon. Community manager Nevelistus said this months ago to level our expectations. Had she not done that, then yes, I would have gone in expecting something, and I would have been disappointed. But because we knew not to expect anything, we were not let down. So there were two Diablo panels, as we've discussed in previous videos. Two half-hour panels, one on the Friday, one on the Saturday. The Friday panel was about the art, visual effects of the Necromancer. This was a talk by the devs. They gave some insights on the development process. And then the Saturday panel was a panel with myself, Leviathan, Big Daddy Den, and Lexaria. This was the community panel for Diablo. Nevelistus asked us a series of questions, some more serious than others, and we all just basically had a good time talking about Diablo. Now at this point you might be asking, well, how could you possibly leave BlizzCon with a sense of hope for the future of Diablo, given that? Well, let's go through these. And the first is about the exclusive BlizzCon demo. So at BlizzCon, every game has a demo station with a series of computers that people can come and play, and the Diablo demo station actually was pretty much front and center when you enter the convention proper. So while Diablo might have physically had a smaller space than other games, it was positioned pretty prominently. It wasn't tucked away in some obscure corner. And something that honestly really surprised me was that there were basically constant lineups for the Diablo demo station. I honestly expected, okay, at some point later in the convention I can just go there and there's not going to be a big lineup because, you know, Diablo's an older game, no new content, but no, there was constant long lines. So not only does this tell me that there's still interest for Diablo itself amongst Diablo players, but also just there must have been people coming from outside of Diablo just wanted to try the game out. I do have to specify that yes, you would get a badge for your backpack by completing the demo, so to a degree, people were doing the demo for that, but I can't imagine that those lines could only be accounted for by the badge. As for what the demo was, basically you would sit down, you would select one of the character classes, it was a pre-made build, you would load into a fanciful Greater Rift, in essence. But it didn't appear that way at first. It looks like you're loading into the campaign itself. You are on the road to Tristram. You fight your way to the gate, and it's as you get to the gate that you realize, oh, well, this is very different because the Butcher spawns. And that's the essence of what this experience was. It was a Greater Rift, somewhere in the 40s, I believe. Depending on what class you selected, you were running one of the class sets. It wasn't too challenging for a Diablo player, or not really challenging at all for a Diablo player, but I suspect for someone new to the game, it provided just enough challenge to be fun, without being crushingly difficult. And you're basically exploring areas from the campaign while fighting bosses, until you ultimately arrive at the end and you fight Diablo himself, who midway through the fight transforms in the one biggest twist of this, transforms into the Diablo 1 Diablo. It seemed like they maybe took the Diablo BlizzCon pet from last year and just scaled that up. Maybe it was higher resolution or something, but it was a nice little surprise to fight Diablo 1 Diablo, and hopefully some of the people that were just doing the demo to get the badge enjoyed it enough to start picking up the game. Now apart from that, another reason that I am hopeful for the future of Diablo is that of all the Blizzard employees, all the Diablo employees that I spoke to, while I didn't get any inside information from them on any hot tips about the new game or whatever, no one seemed negative or down or discouraged. Everyone seemed very positive, and I don't know, if you think your job is in danger because your game is shutting down or there's no new game in the works, are you going to be necessarily very a beat. I've worked for an outlet that I knew was going down the drain and will be shut down eventually, and when people would ask me about my job and stuff, I certainly wasn't all smiles and good times. Another thing that made me hopeful was that on the community panel, Nevelistus directly asked us what we thought would be in store for the future of Diablo, which seems like an odd question to ask if Diablo had no future. It would be a bit cruel. I don't think they would want us to speculate if they weren't cooking up something. And of course, there's also this here, which we've gone over a lot in previous videos.
Last year, Frank Pierce came up at Blizzcon and made a very powerful statement about just pledging loyalty to Diablo, that Diablo has a future, an important future, and that meant a lot to me for Frank Pierce to come up and say that. So that, combined with the job postings that have been quietly going up and coming down for Team 3, for the Diablo, section, there's no doubt in my mind that there is something happening. I know you're not ready to talk about it. I don't know when you will be. I don't know what it'll be. But I'm ready, and I can't wait.
But now, even extending beyond Blizzard, I'm still hopeful for the future of Diablo, thanks to even the community itself. I got to meet a lot of wonderful content creators, guys that I've maybe met through Twitter, over the internet kind of thing, but got to meet them in person and just kind of shared our passions for this franchise, and I think we all want to keep going strong with Diablo. And then extending even beyond that, we saw a lot of incredible Diablo cosplay. I was blown away at the quality of the cosplay and how much Diablo cosplay there was, all things considered. You know, for a dead game and all that, there's people super passionate enough to work on insane cosplay projects that would have taken like 8+ months to complete. And I'll be posting up a lot of pictures on Twitter, I'll have some behind the scenes footage on Patreon, but overall my impression is basically just that the team is not ready to reveal whatever it is they may be working on. They might not have things hashed out enough to even reveal it. But just because this was a quiet year for Diablo at BlizzCon doesn't mean it's dead. If you asked me to place a bet, I probably would not expect any more content coming to Diablo 3, but there's no doubt in my mind that there will be more coming to Diablo, period. And then another one of my great takeaways from BlizzCon was really just getting to meet you folks. I had a lot of you people come up, say hi, it was wonderful to meet you all. I had my little yearbook with me here that I was asking you folks to sign, and I'll cherish these forever. And we got to fly the Raider banner at BlizzCon, and it was an idea from our community member NickTick. He gave me this impassioned speech that really touched me, and gave me the idea to put your names on the banner, forming the R, so that effectively, for those of you who couldn't be going to BlizzCon, we brought you with us. And not only do we get to bring you to BlizzCon, we also got to bring you to Blizzard headquarters when we went on our tour on Monday, and it was just a wonderful idea from NickTick, and I'm so glad that he gave me that idea. Because if I have one regret about BlizzCon, it's that we didn't have time for me to say one thing that I really wanted to say on the community panel, and that was just extend an enormous thank you. I'm hugely grateful to Blizzard, to the Diablo team, for the opportunities they've extended me, especially to Brandy, Nevelistus, who's just done a wonderful job caring for the community and its creators, and also to Tivolier for being the very first Blizzard employee to ever reach out to me. But I also would have loved to be able to publicly thank you folks for getting me on that stage, because without you, it would have never happened. However it is that you folks support me, be it on Patreon, be it on Twitch, be it simply from watching my videos, I owe you everything. It's thanks to you folks that I've been able to do this full-time for over a year now. It's thanks to you folks that I was able to be approached by Blizzard, be recognized, be brought up on stage, be invited to BlizzCon, and I'm just incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. And I think that's where we'll wrap up today's video. Until next time.